Hello, and welcome to Double Dragon Trouble, our weekly D&D stream where we play a game of homebrew D&D set in the Forgotten Realms, in a time where Tiamat, the queen of chromatic dragons, have taken over the world. So today is going to be a bit of a special episode, because we only have one player. The rest are busy with the university and broken shelves.
Good times. All right.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a little one man solo queue session, but it's all right because the party has split. So we were going to follow Balthazar on his own anyway. So a brief recap of where we are. You're in the Gloaming Court. You were trying to get back some souls. Balthazar was tagging along because you were following Grbalusht, a Dragonborn companion of the party that wanted to help them for old time's sake. You split from the party after you had killed the Blazing Knight, and you got a few of the souls in your bag to use as currency, I suppose.
Yep.
And then you found yourself in the maze, protecting the quarters of the Gloaming Court. Court. You had your blaze stone, which was supposed to trailblaze your way back to the main hall, but it was deactivated. So you decided to go anyway, trying your luck to find your way through the mazes of the Gloaming Court. That didn't go too well, as you at one point was accosted by a weird voice, and then you found yourself in a corridor that kept looping back on itself in an endless loop. You tried to fireball the wall, and you found a secret door. Through that, you found a staircase that led down for maybe miles. Down you went for possibly a couple of hours. When you looked up, you saw you were being chased by fire. When you got to the bottom, you found the bottom of the staircase was just filled with bones. So you had to dive into the bones and swim around. Until you found a hatch where you could exit from this bone pool. The flames were still coming from above. There was some weird thing slithering in the bones, which you fireballed. And then you found yourself in a dark room with a floor that slowly sloped down, as if you were standing on some top of a cylinder, until you got to a point where you couldn't move on without falling over the edge and sliding down. You found a door at the side of the room, which led you... Oh, well, it was opened by a weird shadow after he shackled your hands. Then you were led inside and put into a cell. And that is where we left off.
Lovely day overall.
Lovely day. Meanwhile, the rest of the party was looting literally a wheelbarrow of silver coins.
Yep.
Going through a sassy courtroom. Then we're having a better time.
Yeah.
Unless you like the darkness.
True.
So
let's see what happens. This might be one of those Norwegian prisons where there's like a PlayStation and all that. We'll see.
Well, this is even better than where I came from.
Yeah, sure.
So just a bit of background on Balthazar. You are a warlock, an Aasimar warlock, with a celestial patron.
Yep. Currently. Nope.
You started out with the Great Old One as your patron, and that served you well in the beginning. But then until you asked for knowledge and was granted beyond your wildest dreams, being trapped for 10,000 years in a gargantuan library. But you did manage to escape by fusing yourself with some kind of celestial being, allowing you to escape, rejecting your old patron in favor of the new celestial patron, also gaining the celestial guardian, which has been slightly helpful.
A bit.
Mostly sassy.
Yeah, he's what you can expect from a celestial guardian. He's just like, do good.
Possibly. And then everything happened. So you have this history with the darkness, and it seemed that your Celestial Guardian had to fight a battle to keep the darkness at bay after you used the spell, the dark spell last time, or the previous session. Alright, so let us pick up where we left off. You've been dumped inside this dank, cold cell. Walls, ceiling, floor made of metal plates. It is so dark that even with your dark vision, you have a hard time seeing the corners of the room.
Lovely.
And there's just this generic, low, rumbling sound you see in every movie when they have to represent that it is a vast, empty space. So obviously that will be full with some kind of noise.
Oh, yep. Of course. And the shadowy figure who led me here, did he...
he has closed the door. You heard some keys rattling. And then, I'll be back for you later. There's so much I want to ask you.
Great. So what's in this cell? Is it just... Is there a bed?
There's a slab of grey stone that you think might serve as a bed, or at least be intended to serve as a bed.
Nice.
There's a bucket, which is, I guess, also nice. You can put it on your head.
That's one thing. Right. And the shackles I'm in, are they just normal metal sort of thing?
Make an investigation check.
All right. 5.
5. They look like they're made of metal, but you can't really tell if there's more to them.
Great.
You hear the celestial voice in your head.
Oh.
And it says, I think I got the darkness under control. I'm pretty sure all the doors are locked now.
Good.
I had to concentrate on this, but I sensed something when we were going down here. Sensed a lot of fey magic.
Oh, great.
Powerful fey magic. Something's not right.
Is this still the Fey Wild? I mean, that would explain it, right? Or do you even know?
I don't think we are passed into any other places. I mean, the leaping, for example, to the Shadowfell directly from the Feywild would be quite a leap. So I don't think... And if this place reminds me of anything, it reminds me of the Shadowfell. But I don't think we are there. We are deep in a web of magic.
The Queen of Air and Darkness was mentioned.
Yeah, you don't know about her?
I don't know. Do I?
Shoot a history check. So that, I know everything. I just want to see if you know.
Let me just see how good my history is. I mean, probably not. No, I probably don't know. 10?
10. You might have heard the name in passing, but you never really cared about what it really represented.
There's so many beings.
So many queens of air and darkness, yes. Well, to be honest, I don't know much about her, but I do know that she is the queen of the Unseelie Court of the Feywild, opposed to the Summer Queen, Titania, of the Summer Court.
Do you know, if we were to pick a side between those two courts, which side would we want to be imprisoned in?
Neither, really.
Great.
You must understand,
which side would we want to be on?
The court is not evil per se, and the Sealy cord is not good per se. They are more different representations of emotions.
All right.
You wouldn't definitely not want to be in the prison of the Sealy court. They're terrible in their own ways.
All right. Well, I guess we've yet to find out what kind of stuff will happen here.
Yes. I think we have to get out of here.
I mean, I would agree.
But I would recommend that you think carefully about using spells from the Dark One again. It was quite an effort to put the lid on that jar back on.
I understand. I'm glad that you were able to keep him at bay. I will not do it again.
Well, a situation might rise where it's necessary. It worked pretty well down there. Just be aware of the consequences.
Yeah. Anyway. So, getting out of this cell.
Yes.
Well, I'm locked up, so that can be kind of an annoyance.
Well, you do have powers, you know.
I mean, mostly fire. I can burn them. But that might just burn my hands.
Well, you're lucky. They bound your hands on the front, so it's not much of a problem, is it? You can still cast spells.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly try. Let's see. I'm gonna, see if I can get rid of these first, and see if I can somewhat angle my hand to hit the actual chain between them.
All right.
So
try to do the hand gestures and
yeah, exactly. Just
all right.
And just hope that it might break, or that it might heat the metal to the point where it can break, instead of actually just heating up the arm and burning my wrists. Let's see.
Make an attack roll with disadvantage, because it's quite an awkward thing to do.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Unless Firebolt doesn't have a... I think it has.
I'm pretty sure it does. Let me see. That was one. That wasn't too bad. And the other. Oh, that's actually not too bad, regardless, even with the disadvantage.
All right.
It is 18.
18. All right. You managed to do the flip. Just as the spell forms in your hand, you switch it around, your hands around, and aim it at the chain. And then it's directly in front of you, so it's just a matter of releasing the spell. And the bolt hits the chain. Roll some damage.
All right. The old math. Then that's plus 19.
19. All right. You hit it, and you can see the firebolt sort of gets absorbed into the metal as it makes contact. You can see the metal starts to glow and warp a bit. So it's definitely affected by this. And then you can sort of try to pull, and it sort of strains it a bit. Then it's lengthened, pulled, extruded, I think is the word. And then it cracks apart in one piece as it starts to cool down again.
You'd think they'd never had any magic uses here. Well, that works. Then I guess the door is the next thing. Yeah, the door is pretty solid metal.
It looks like it's made of sheets of metal, various sizes of sheets that has been bolted together to form this pretty solid block. Almost like an onion with several layers. Only an onion doesn't look like a door. But you get the idea.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Something like it. Just see. I mean, I could just keep going and try and firebolt my problems away. But I'm just checking my spell list to see if there's anything actually properly useful.
Gaseous form would be really useful.
It really would, and I'm regretting not having that. Why did I take Vampiric Touch?
If only the door was living. Wasn't there once someone who tried to marry a door in a session?
In a session? I thought you just meant in real life. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
Well, maybe though. It might have been a stream or something else. I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like a D&D adventure.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway. Marry a door.
So is there like a lock, like a key? Oh, there was, right? He rattled with
You heard one,
keys.
but you can't see it from the side of the door.
There's no keyhole here.
No. And there's no handle either on this side. Great. The only thing is a narrow slot in the top where I think there's like a peephole you can look through from the outside.
Let me try and... Because I can't... I assume I can't move the metal that's covering the slot so I can see out. I guess that's a thing only the patrol or the guard can do.
Well, you could try. I mean, it is a sliding thing. There's no handle on this side, but you could maybe push it.
I'll try. Why not?
Make a dexterity check.
Wow, I'm such a dexterous warlock. Natural 1.
You try and you get like a nail in, and then you really pull, and it like breaks the nail.
This is why I should use magic for everything. I firebolt the slot.
All right, make an attack roll.
Hopefully I can hit. Natural 20.
Natural 20. But the anger.
Fucking.
But you hit the slot, and again the fireball is sort of like absorbed into the metal. But you also notice something weird. It seems as if the whole door sort of like moves 10 inches away from you for a moment, and then moves back again into place.
Huh. I'm just gonna try and push on the door.
All right. You push and make an intelligence check.
It's actually not my strong suit either. 8.
It never is. 8.
No.
You put your hands on the door and you push, but it's like it's a door. It's a metal door. You don't understand how it could do the thing it just did. But it feels like a solid door sitting solidly in its hinges as you put your hands on it. But you're pretty sure what you saw wasn't like
normal
because you blinked or something.
No, that would be an extremely weird blink.
And your celestial guardian whispers in your ear. As I said, there's a lot of fey magic going on around here.
Yeah, I get what you're saying now. Well, that doesn't make this easy. But at least we're one step out of the way. I'm just gonna...
I mean, you still have your equipment, as far as I can see.
True.
You don't have to have a 10-foot pole or something lying around.
I have a spear, but it's not 10 feet.
Yeah.
Actually, what happens if I'll try and take the spear,
Mhm.
and just try and like hit the the metal that's on the little slot
Yeah.
real hard just to see if anything happens.
Make an attack roll.
Unnatural 20.
Oh.
My rolls
You
are
hit
like
it.
shit, good, shit, good.
Well, I guess that makes the most fun. I mean, when you get like a 9, that's just like,
Yeah, true.
good as a 9.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not even fun. So you jab the spear at the what's it called, like the peephole plate thing, and the spear hits it, and it makes this metallic sound. And again, it seems as if the whole door just moves slightly, and there's this jitter around the edge of the spear, as if the spear for a moment is buried into the metal, and then it's out of the metal again.
Well. And here I thought this was gonna be easy. I think I'm just gonna look around this cell to see if I see anything like maybe there's another prisoner who's been here who's left some kind of something.
All right, make a
little
perception check.
guide on one of the stones or something that's like, if you want to escape, just perception. That's not too bad. 13.
13. You look at the bed, the stone slab, and you can see there's scratch marks along the wall close to it, as if someone has been lying on that thing and just scratched the wall. You also find deep gouges in the floor, almost as if something has been dragged towards the door. And then you find a key in the bucket. No, you don't.
That'd be great.
You check the bucket, it's empty. Almost pristine, in fact.
Oh. At least they give me a fresh supply of bucket. Well.
Make an intelligence check.
5.
5. All right.
I'm just hopeless in this cell.
You look around, and as you look at the bed, even with a 5, you can see that there's something off about it. You don't find any other entrances or exits to the room except for the door, and then you look at the slab bed, and you don't think it could possibly fit through that door.
I like to investigate the slab and around the slab a bit closer.
Right. Well, make another investigation check.
Jesus fucking Christ. 6.
6. You look closer, but you can't deduce any more from that, except that it doesn't really make any sense unless they built the room around it.
That would be quite a feat.
Also, weird choice of furniture, perhaps.
Indeed. We could have just gotten an IKEA bed.
It's just, we got these beds, we need to use them. Break down the wall if you have to.
Oh, what was the walls in the room?
So they're all made of these metal sheets that is bolted together.
All right.
Dripping with moisture.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna check if I'm alone here, and I'm gonna go over to one of the wall. I don't know if I saw when I entered the cell if there were cells beside.
Yeah, there were more cells.
Alright, I'm gonna go to that wall. That's like, just one of them that goes to the cell beside, and just knock on the door or the wall.
All right. Make an intelligence check.
Jesus. Why did I have to make a stupid character? He's not even stupid. It's just
It's
10.
uneducated.
Yeah.
10. You hit the wall, and it makes this sound as you would expect it to do.
Mm.
And for a moment, it just rings around in the entire room as if the structure's like a bell. You are hitting the side. You can hear it like spreading out into other rooms beyond.
All right, but no
immediate
response.
reply.
All right. Hmm. God damn it. What to do?
After a moment, you hear a tapping sound. As if someone is knocking on the metal, a wall or a floor somewhere. And it's approaching. And it sounds like it's coming from a distance, but through the wall, through the cell, beyond, perhaps.
Oh.
And it gets closer. Until it sounds like it's right outside, on the other side of the wall. And then on the wall.
I knock back again. I don't think this will break the wall down, but it's worth a shot.
Then a hand comes through the wall. And then another. And then a head pokes through. And it is the head of a gnome with long white hair, just almost falling down in front of his face. There's just barely slits in the hair for his eyes to look out at you. Big, sunken eyes with some craziness in them.
Like most gnomes.
Just pulls himself more than usual. Pulls himself through the wall and looks at you. My, you're a tall one. And he's almost naked. He might be naked. You can't really see it because his hair is so long that it just covers him. But his arms are just caked with dirt. His nails on his fingers are long and curled, yellow. He smells.
Who are you?
I don't know. I think I might have forgotten my name sometime. But you can give me a name if you want to. No one has called me a name for a long time.
I'll think about it.
Well,
how long have you been?
Shh. And he runs over to the door and just listens at it.
What are you doing?
Then he runs back to you. Just checking. Don't want the warden to walk in and see that I'm in here.
No, certainly not. How did you get in here? That was quite the trick. Is that something that could be taught?
It's easy.
All right,
well,
mind elaborating.
You do it like this. He stands in front of the wall, then he puts his hands on them and just puts them through like this. Then he walks through the wall and comes back out after a moment. See?
Is that something you've always been able to do, or is this specific to these walls?
It's specific to a lot of stuff in this place.
Huh.
But don't tell the warden that you know or I know, because then they're probably going to do something. They might put us in a real prison.
Oh, this isn't the
real
real
prison. As long as we just pretend, then they don't know, and we get to be here, and we get to stretch our legs.
True. If this isn't the real prison, then what is this?
Would assume some kind of illusion. And he puts his hand through again. Very convincing illusion. Powerful illusion.
I'm gonna go to the wall and just push my hand
Right. Make an intelligence check with advantage.
8.
8. You put your hands on the wall, but you can't. I mean, it feels like a real wall, and as you push, you just. I mean, to you, it feels like a real wall. And then you feel the gnome clamp up on your back, on your shoulders, and look over your shoulder. Come on, put your head to this. You've got to realize one thing. There are no walls. He like puts his hands on your hands and then try to make you move through the wall again. Make another roll with that advantage.
Jeez, come on. We can do this. Oh, yes. 18.
18. So this time, with his help, his hands on your hands, you slowly pass your hands through the walls. And then, all of a sudden, you see all the tiny things that are wrong with the place, where the geometry is a bit weird. You see that this place should be filthy, but it's not. You see all the errors. Really well hidden. Tiny details, but as soon as you sort of like make that mental like flip, you realize that pretty much everything that you can see is false.
Huh. Well, that's something. How long have you been here?
It's difficult to say. I mean, it just indicates around this almost total darkness. I don't know. It might be days. It feels like years. Probably is years. I guess. And he looks down his hair.
Yeah, how long was your hair when you got in here?
Oh, I didn't have any hair when I got here.
Alright, so it's been a while.
It's been a while. And I think it has sort of like gone to a lathe where it's worn. So it doesn't grow any longer. If it grows any longer, then I'll step on it and just pulls it right out.
So, if you are able to walk through this illusion, as you have discovered it is,
Yes.
why are you still here?
Well, because there's the warden.
Can't get past.
No. Well, I could try, but I can't fight. I was never a fighter. I was an entertainer. And I got in with the wrong crowd, tried to do some stupid stuff, and I ended up here. Maybe the same way you did. Tried to go through the corridors, didn't have a blaze-stone. What a fool I was.
Something like it. Where are
I
you
had
from?
a dog when we started here.
Oh.
He died a long time ago, and he was a puppy. So it might be quite a while.
Yeah, it would seem so.
But it is the Feywild. Time is strange down here, don't we think?
I think most things are strange down here.
It's very lonely down here. They don't have many prisoners in this area.
I'm gonna assume you're from the material realm.
I am.
What was that like last you were there?
It's a long time ago, so I might only just remember the good stuff. But I remember rolling green hills, sweet ale, the smell of flowers in the spring, the coolness, refreshing coolness of snow in the winter, the annual fairs in Waterdeep.
Are you from Waterdeep?
No, but I'm from around. Do you know where Longsaddle is? It's a bit north.
I'm from Neverwinter myself.
Neverwinter. I've been to Neverwinter. Not the best place, to be honest. Hope they got their stuff straight. That whole rift was quite a nuisance, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I chose to live outside, a short while outside of the city after a while.
All right.
Do you remember dragons when you were last?
Well,
and not just
I
the occasional dragon. But
hearing about there was a dragon, a small white dragon in some fortress in the forest.
Yeah.
Rumors. I don't know if it was true.
I think I
And
know
then, of
what
course, I
you're
know
talking
all the
about.
stories.
Yes.
Never seen one, though.
No. Yeah. You might have been here for a while. The material plane has changed.
Oh, how so?
Dragons are very, fairly common now. They kind of run things.
Is that a bad thing?
Yeah. Unless you like a sort of a tyrannical rule.
How can they take over? Why are there surely the adventurers that would stand up to them?
Well, I don't know all the details, because honestly, I wasn't there either when it happened, but I've been filled in.
Oh.
I don't know.
But surely Waterdeep must be safe. It has the dragon ward.
Well, actually, that white dragon that you were talking about,
Yeah.
is now the mayor, if you could say that, of Waterdeep.
How is that possible? Dragons are not supposed to be able to enter Waterdeep. It's protected by ancient spells.
Something changed, I suppose.
Yeah.
Perhaps there's a big dragon cult out there now. So perhaps they got someone on the inside. And
so there are no nice places left in the material plane?
Well, actually on my way here, I went to find some people. It's a long story, but we went through Daggerford.
Oh yeah, I know Daggerford. Been there once, traded a bit. Nice people.
Yeah, it's been liberated, you could say, recently.
Oh.
And honestly, as I said, I'm fairly new to being back in the material plane, so I don't know. There might be places that are still untouched.
I kind of hope that one day I would be able to get out of here, then maybe go home. Just have one more pint.
Well, what do you say that we make that day today?
Well, how can we? I mean, the warden. He is powerful with magic.
Well, have you ever
I must say that I am no fighter. And when I say that, I mean it. I've never held a weapon before.
No.
And now I'm old.
Yeah. Well,
but
I'm not
clever.
Exactly. I figure with your intellect and my persistence, I'm sure we can find a way.
All right. Well, I have been exploring a bit, and there seems to be 2 exits from this place. Both of them are guarded. I've never been able to get close to them without the warden being nearby.
Is it just one warden that guards the whole place?
I think so. I have been observing him for a long time. And I think it's the same person. Oh, and all that shadow stuff? That's also just an illusion.
Oh.
I think it's just some kind of elf with some magic. But again, I'm no fighter, so even a novice spellcaster would be quite the match for me. Especially now.
Well, if we get into a fighting situation,
yes,
then I will take the lead. I know some magic myself.
All right. Well, if you think you can take him on, then I suppose it's just a matter of confronting him.
Well, we could, but I don't know his level of power exactly. What have you seen him do?
But I don't think that this illusion we're inside right now is his. He's like manipulating that illusion, but it's not his magic. It's way too powerful for him. But he can do small tricks. He's no amateur. That's for sure. But I get a sense that someone who's using illusions that way does so because they can't fight that much. I mean, if he was powerful, or maybe it's just a choice. I don't know.
Guess we'll see. Well, I say we go exploring.
All right, where do you want to go?
Let's not seek out the warden. If we can just leave, then we'll just leave. But if we meet him and things escalate, then I'll fight.
Just know that if he realizes that we have seen through the illusion, then a confrontation is almost certain. And maybe not just with him, he might call for backup. I think the whole idea with this place is that it keeps people in check with minimum effort.
So you said you found 2 exits.
Yes.
Anything else of interest?
Well, it seems that most of pretty much everything down here, except for the food and a bit of furniture, is just an illusion.
All right.
One exit you probably know about. There's a door that leads out to this room where the floor slopes down.
That's where I came from.
That door is real. And the wall around it is also real, unfortunately. And then it goes all the way around to the other side of this place, and there's another door that is also real.
Well, I didn't really know what to do on the other side of the door I came from. Perhaps let's try the other one.
We could do that. I can show you to it if you want me to.
Yes. How often does the warden come here and check on us?
Not very often. He came quite often when I first got here. And then it got more and more rare. Until it was hardly at all. Sometimes a servant comes down with food. Not the warden himself, of course. But you're new, so he might show up soon. Until he has asked you all the questions he can think of. Like squeezed you for every part of interesting bits you have to say. And when he's bored with you, he has no longer any reason to come. I think he is absolutely confident in the illusion.
Well, I could use a bit of a short rest, if you will.
Of course. I can come back tomorrow if you want me to.
Oh. That might be too long.
Oh, I can probably stay in the room next door. He's probably not gonna look. And then when you're ready, you can just knock on the wall or come in. I mean, there's no stopping you anymore.
Right, because I figure you're right. Since I'm new, he might come by here. So I don't think it's logical for me to wait too long. But I figure just have a little rest. Magic takes a toll on.
Indeed.
So I might want to be just all prepared.
Yes.
But yeah, if you could go into the next room and yeah.
All right.
I'll let you know.
He clamps down from your shoulders.
All right.
Conversation on your shoulders.
All right. Yeah.
Clamps down and waves at you and then just walks through the wall.
Right. So I'm just gonna in my cell just sit down on the slab of a bed and just
And now that you sit down on the slab, you just pass through the slab and sit on the door, and it's like a meter off the ground.
I already forgot.
Not a meter, sorry. This tall slab. A foot off the ground.
Great. Well, Yeah, I'm just gonna take a short rest.
All right. Yeah, you do
just
that.
regain my spells.
You don't need to sleep, so you just, I guess, just.
I just sit and listen.
All right. And all you hear is this low humming, sort of like deep rumble, permeating the entire space. And again, now you get why you're like, you got a sense that the sound was weird for this small room. You didn't get quite the right echo. And now you know why, because you're probably just sitting inside a huge room that you can't see because of the illusions.
Right. So no one came by in this short rest time.
How long time do you rest?
Well, isn't a short rest like an hour?
I think it goes down to a quarter of an hour.
Oh. Well, then I'll just rest
all right.
the minimal time necessary.
All right. As you finish that rest, you can hear faint footsteps somewhere off in the distance.
I'm just gonna go over to the wall for the cell next and just poke my head through. I hear footsteps. Should we go now?
The gnome has been sleeping and looks up, pushes his hair out of the way. What?
I hear footsteps.
Oh.
Should I wait or should we go now?
It's probably the warden. And it sounds like he's coming from the other door. But I don't know if he sees the illusions the same way we do. So if we run through all the cells, we can't see him, and he might not be able to see us. But maybe he can see through from the other side. I don't know. He might be able to see us just sprinting through. Or he might not be. Again, it's not his illusion.
That's true. I say we go for it.
All right.
So, yeah. You lead the way.
All right. This way. So we'll stay inside the cells. And then hopefully he won't notice.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to be quiet. He can still hear us.
So good at that.
Let's go then.
All right.
Make a stealth check as you start to move. First through the wall back into your cell, and then through the other wall into the cell to the next one, and then just continuing through the walls.
Come on. Oh my god.
How did you do?
Natural 1.
Natural 1. All right, you start to make your way through, and you can hear the footsteps on the corridor outside. Could be the warden. You don't know because you can't see through the walls. You'd have to poke your head out to see that. As you get to a point where you are in the cell, directly outside or inside, if you will, the corridor where he's standing or walking, you trip in the hair of the gnome, falling just flat onto the floor with a loud boom that sends an echo out in all directions. And the gnome can't help it. It's like, my hair! And you hear the footsteps outside the door stop as the ringing of your fall slowly echoes out, comes back, echoes out, and fades.
Shit.
Then the door opens slowly. And outside, you can see this shadowy figure that you met and were brought in by. And it slowly lifts off the ground, and 2 red eyes just light up in the darkness where its face would be. And one hand extends out to you, and you can see red runes start to swirl around it. And the finger points at you, then at the gnome. It seems you're out of place.
Well, I was getting bored, to be honest.
You have no patience.
Nope. Well, this isn't the nicest place. I'm sure you understand.
You are beholding a powerful illusion crafted by the Queen herself. You should be honored to be in a place like this. Are you not honored to stand in the art of our queen.
Well, maybe if the queen would have showed herself, then I would have been.
The queen. Show herself for someone like you. You are lucky to barely touch the faintest strands of her power.
Well, it's not always lucky to meddle with powers like that. So I think I'm fine.
And I can see you have broken your shackles as well.
Yes.
I'm afraid that leaves me with little choice.
Right. So where is this gonna lead?
There's a way. Way of pain.
Right, that way.
From its shoulder, it sort of like draws a staff out, coalescing from darkness. And you can see on top of it, there's this symbol that kind of looks like an eye with eyelids pointing down. And it draws from the top of the staff more of this red light, and then stretches out a hand towards you. Give me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. All right. Oh, 13.
13. All right. You can sense magic rushing towards you, and you see coming out of the underside of this shadowy creature long, black, slimy tentacles.
Oh,
Sort
shit.
of like, and when you look closer, you can see tiny white tentacles, sort of like growing out, almost like hair on them. Super gross, coming out, sort of waving towards you across the floor. And from all corners of this dark room, more of these tentacles reach towards you. And then this creature just turns into a faint green outline of a door. And then the door slowly opens in front of you. And you see vast distances beyond, and more tentacles coming out of that darkness towards you. But you resist as you realize this is yet another illusion. And as you realize that, they sort of lose their power and slowly fades away, turning to dust, landing on the floor and evaporating. And the shadow figure is left as he was. It looks at you. Impressive. But I have more tricks.
So do I.
Roll initiative.
Yep.
Oh, he rolls a natural 20.
Fuck. Oh, yeah, he goes first.
Just running his stats. Yeah, I assume you roll less than.
Yeah, it was
20.
an 11.
All right. Huh.
So much stuff to do.
He is still hovering above the floor, and he takes like the hand with all the red runes swirling around it, and sort of like just lets the staff hang in the air for a moment, and then draws out a string of these red runes, following like a band, and then he wraps it around, forming some weird pattern, and then it collapses, and 3 of him, copies of himself, emerges around him, and you're not sure which one is the right one. Your turn. And all of them actually say, "Your move, scum."
All right. Interesting. I am going to... Let's just see my luck. I'm just gonna firebolt the one to the left.
All right. Make an attack roll.
That's not very good. That is only 12.
All right. And I have to roll. And that is a 9. All right. you send the firebolt, and it hits one of the figures, and it just turns to black smoke. The three other laugh. Wrong choice. And then, unless you want to move, of course, or have you a bonus action.
No, I think I'm good for now.
All right. Then all of them are going to point their fingers at you. And you can see a blue light start to appear. And then the blue light shoots out from all of their fingers as these magic missiles as it streaks towards you. And they're, of course, duplicated. So you get hit by times 3 bolts. Yeah, but, of course, only one of the spells are real.
All right. Thank
So,
God.
the first one hits you in the stomach for 5 force damage. And also, you don't know which one you are supposed to dodge, but you probably know the spell that you can't really dodge them, but I mean, it's difficult to not to try. And the second one hits you for 3 force damage.
All right.
And the third one hits you for another 3 force damage.
Do I get any indication of which ones actually hurt?
No.
All right. Cool.
And then it is your turn.
Yep.
As the 3 of them looks at you.
There were 3 of them now.
And then they start to like hover around, sort of switching places to make it even more confusing. Maybe you should have stayed in your rabbit hole.
Are they still like fairly close to each other?
Yeah, they are like within 5 feet of each other.
Alright. If only all my AoE spells weren't like Hadar.
It might be a bit early to call upon Hadar.
Yeah, another one. Let's see. Gonna.
Like your Celestial Guardian would return and just, it's like that gif with him, that guy returning with pizzas and there's fire all over the place.
Yeah.
Only instead of fire would be black tentacles.
Yeah. I'm going to just firebolt again.
Alright.
On the middle one.
Alright. Make an attack roll.
That would be 24.
That hits, and this time the spell connects, and it doesn't just evaporate. You actually hit the right target. Make... Well, I'm sorry.
Oh.
You actually have to do it with disadvantage, because he's an illusionist.
Right. Let me try again. Come on. 20.
20.
Not natural, but...
So you hit him, and as soon as you hit him, not only is there like 2 other duplicates of him, as you hit him, you notice that his like moves a bit to the side. So there was actually another illusion on top of that made him appear to be in another place that he actually was, but you just managed to clip him with your spell anyway. So yeah, roll damage.
That would be 22
Holy shit.
damage. That's quite a good roll.
So that is... Alright. Yeah. You hit him straight in the chest and he looks pretty surprised. And you can see the darkness sort of like peel away from him for a moment. And underneath there's just this elf wearing some edgy black clothes. And you can see surprise on his face. Oh, you're gonna pay for that.
They all look the same, these elves.
he is going to cast another spell at you, weaving again this spell in front of you. Make an intelligence save.
God damn it. I was so happy when it was wisdom. Alright. No, damn it. 6.
6.
Yep.
He weaves again, and out of the ground comes some spikes, metal spikes that go up, and then you turn around, twist towards you from all around you, as if forming a cage around you, growing up over the top. And then from inside these new metal bars, more spikes grow towards you, pointy points, and you think this must be an illusion. Surely it's an illusion.
Would
Then
make
they
sense.
touch your skin and they start to poke you from all sides, and you can feel the pain as it doesn't really crush you. It just pokes you as if you're in some kind of weird living Iron Maiden.
Lovely.
And take 4 psychic damage.
Okay.
As the shadowy figure, the shadow is sort of like recoalesced around him again. Yes, yes. Your mind is not that powerful. I think I found the weak spot. Yes, it is your turn.
Alright. So am I still in this cage?
Yeah, it's still all the way around you, pressing in on you.
Alright, so I can't really
I think
move my
any
arms
moment
and
now it's
stuff.
going to draw blood.
Yeah. So is it close enough that I can't really move my arms?
Well, you do have some space that you can make your gestures, but I mean, you don't feel you can run away. You feel like you are trapped inside this cage.
Alright. Well then, let's just see if I can kill him from here. I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt
Ooh,
on him.
that's a good one. All right, first of all, I'm gonna make a roll. All right, you cast Guiding Bolt, and you hit. You probably hit. Make an attack roll just to see if you hit.
Well, let's see. Yeah, that probably hits. 26.
You hit straight in the face of one of the other illusions and just turns to dust again.
Fuck.
And the 2 remaining laugh. Yes, yes, you will be long dead before you get through my layers upon layers upon layers of illusions.
No! How's that spell slot?
The spikes keep pressing in, and you take another 4 psychic damage.
Alright.
As he's turning, as if he's controlling the spell. And then... He casts another magic missile at you.
Motherfucker.
First missile causes 3 force damage.
Alright.
Second one, 2 force damage.
Alright.
And the third one, 4 force damage.
I'm still good.
And you can hear the gnome. Get him! Get him! Otherwise he's gonna kill me! And probably also you. And it is your turn.
Right. Fuck, I should have taken a long rest. I assume he's not right in my face.
No, he's like 10 feet away from you.
Yeah. I am going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Alright.
Just to be safe.
Top yourself up.
Alright. Come on, good rolls. That is a good roll. That's not a good roll. And that's a decent roll.
Alright.
So let me see. Alright, that's not bad. I get some of that good healing.
Alright.
And I
Is
guess
there
that's
anything
about...
else you want to do?
No, there's not much else I can do, I think.
Alright. You take 2 psychic damage from the iron cage. And then the illusionist looks at you. You're really trying hard, aren't you? Very well. Then watch the full might. He raises his arms. And this time, you can see it's another magic missile, but this time it's more powerful. 2 additional missiles are produced.
Oh.
There's more dice. Here we go. The first one deals 4 force damage.
Alright.
Second one deals 5 force damage.
Jesus. Alright.
Then 2 force damage.
Yep.
Another 2 force damage.
Yep.
And the last one deals 3 force damage. As he bombards you with these missiles, it's like finding a way through the metal bars. How do you like that? As you can see, you're no match for my powers. It's turning into Palpatine or something. Yeah, it's your turn.
Well, there's still one illusion of him.
Yes.
Right. I was gonna say I'm not gonna waste the spell slot, but I've just used both of my spell slots. Warlock. Firebolt.
Alright, make an attack roll.
19.
19. It hits, but it's another illusion.
Fuck.
And it evaporates in a black smoke. And the illusionist cackles. Well done, well done. There was one there. You get a sense that he doesn't get he doesn't talk with people that often.
Nope.
And then he turns invisible.
Jesus. This motherfucker.
It's your turn. Sorry. You also take 2 force damage. And then he turns invisible. And then it's your turn again. So the case is sort of like still pressing in around you. You get a sense it's more like a stressing situation it's producing. It's not really puncturing your skin and drawing blood, but it seems like it's just about to do it all the time.
Can I see if I can push my way out of the cage? Just
you can try if you want to.
Yeah.
Make an intelligence investigation check.
Investigation. Alright. Jesus. 6.
6. You try, you put your hands on the bars, but they seem real. And you try to push them out, but it feels like as if you're trying to push solid metal bars out of the way.
You want to guide me here again? I say to the gnome.
He seems sort of like crawling over the floor towards you. What are you doing? Why are you just standing there?
I am in a cage.
So, no, you're not.
Oh,
Well, a big cage. But so are we all. It's called the Cage of Life.
it's another illusion.
Oh.
Yeah. My mind doesn't adjust well to these things.
Crawls over, climbs into your shoulders. And as he moves towards you, you can see he's about to walk through one of the metal bars, but then the metal bar sort of like shifts aside to allow him pass through, and then moves back in. Kind of like the reverse of the Terminator T-1000 where he walks through the metal bars. Just imagine the metal bars moving out of the way.
All right.
He climbs onto your shoulders, sits down there, just gives you a bit of massage on your shoulders.
Oh, that's not
All
bad.
right, I'm ready to help you.
All right. Let's push through.
All right, make another investigation check with advantage, since the gnome is now. Come on, focus your mind. It's not real. It's not real. None of it is.
17.
17.
He's a really good
This
help.
time, yeah, with his voice, you put your hands on the bars, and then you just squeeze them as if they were made of dough. And as you do that, they all just melt down, wither, almost as if it's a flower. I just had too much frost. Falls down around you, and just turns to black smoke as your mind finally clears the thing. You can hear the illusionist somewhere nearby. That interfering gnome. Maybe I have to deal with that one first. He reappears now in a new place, somewhere else in the cell that you were inside. And yeah, he weaves a spell, this time focused at the gnome.
Come on, buddy.
And you can see the gnome for a moment just looks around, looks up, then looks down, looks at his hands as if something is going on, and then he just focuses.
Yes.
And when he opens his eyes, he looks around for a moment, and then he smiles. And then he falls off your back. Because he wasn't holding on.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And then it's your turn.
Only one of you now. Let's see if he likes...
One layer. One layer.
Let's see if he likes some fire. The old firebolt.
Alright. Let's have an attack roll.
Natural 20.
Natural 20?
Yeah.
Well, it hits. Let's have some damage.
Come on.
And I guess since it's going to be quite a bit of damage.
Well, let's see, because that first roll was a 1.
Oh, well.
Oh my god, come on. $25.
Alright.
I rolled a 1 and then a 2. So I was like, no. But then the
Well,
other
just
rolls
the
were good.
bonus. Yeah. You hit him with a firebolt, and he's lifted off his feet, and this whole shadow illusion just drops down as if it's like a heavy black fog that rolls into the floor and then evaporates. And he hits the ground with a large thud. His staff drops to the ground, and he just remains lying there on the ground.
I'm gonna go up to him and grab his staff. First of all,
Roll another d20.
just a d20 straight.
Yes.
9.
9. All right. What's your spellcast bonus?
8.
All right. Yeah, you walk up to him, and what do you want to do?
Grab his staff from the floor.
All right. Pick it up.
Does it seem to have any magical... I don't know, I can't cast Identify anything, but...
No, you can
Was
make
it
an
just-
arcana check to
was
see if what you can glean
All right.
just from your knowledge.
Oh. 23.
All right, you don't get a sense that it's magical. Of course, you would have to cast an actual spell to know it,
Yeah.
but you don't get any immediate effect from it as you pick it up. You do think the way he used that, it might be his spellcasting focus.
Right. Was it a wooden staff?
It looks like it's made of some sort of black wood you haven't seen before, that has these kind of like icy veins in them. And then the head is made of possibly brass, with a lot of dark patina on it.
But it does appear to be wood, most of it. All right. I might regret this. Let's see. I'm going to take the staff and try and break it on my knee.
All right. Make a strength athletics check.
Oh, such a strong warlock. 6.
You hit it on your knee. It doesn't break, but it hurts your knee a bit.
Oh, that just seems awkward. Then I'm just gonna throw it behind me.
It clatters to the floor.
And, what is he looking like right now?
So now he looks like an elf, wearing like a black, kind of like a mixture between a robe and a jacket, with like padded shoulders and silver details and stuff like that.
Is he unconscious or is he looking like?
Just from a glance, you think he's dead.
Oh, he's dead? Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Just stand for a moment, looking at his chest, and it isn't rising.
Well, then the staff breaking wasn't that awkward. Anyway, no one saw. I'm going to search the body then.
All right.
Just to see if he has anything nice.
You find, first of all, you find a blaze stone. Then you find a pouch containing 28 gold pieces.
I'm so rich. I only had 2 gold pieces already.
And then you find a weird gem. It kind of looks like a small, like a stylized star or a sun with a lot of beams coming out of it, made of some kind of black glass.
All right. Perfect.
And as you hold it, you get a sense that the whole place around you, all the walls, the floor, the doors, sort of like just ripple for a moment.
Do you know what this is? I'm gonna look at the gnome. Have you seen him use it?
I've never seen him using that before. But to be honest, I haven't seen him for a long time. And when I saw him, I didn't see much of him.
That's fair.
Of course, he was hiding behind that illusion. He looks over at him. I didn't think he was that young.
Well, too bad. I'm going to take the blaze stone, and I'm just gonna check if it works in here, and just say, like, look at it and say exit.
As you say that, the symbols blaze up on the brass plaque at the front of it, and you remember what the symbols meant, because it's not 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago you were told, but it was the day before yesterday. Or
yeah, something like that.
And as you do so, the black sun thing in your other hand starts to vibrate a bit, and you get a sense there's some kind of communication between them.
Oh.
And then all the walls collapse into black smoke. All the way around you. All the doors sink into the ground. And then you can see the walls, the distant walls of the room, sort of like collapsing in towards you, until they just form a long corridor, and the ceiling comes down. And then it warps a bit and turns into black stone. And in a span of a few seconds, you are standing in a black stone corridor.
All right.
With a note behind you, who looks around. Then he taps the wall, and it sounds like solid rock. Well, I be damned.
That appears to be real, even though I'm not the best at determining that.
The gnome really leans into the wall. You never know when you've been in this place for so long. And just hammers a fist on it. It does feel real in a strange way.
I think
He
we
licks
did
it. Yeah. You can't fake that taste.
Right.
Or maybe you can. If you're so powerful as the Queen of Air and Darkness, I suppose you could.
Maybe. So I say let's get the hell out of here.
Do you know the way?
Is the Blaze-Stone still showing?
Yeah, it shows the symbol to just telling you straight ahead.
Alright. Yeah, I think so. Follow me. And I'm just gonna follow the instructions.
But you follow the instructions, then it tells you to go left, right, etc., etc. You come to junctions, and it tells you to take the right turn, and you spend maybe 15 minutes following the stone, and then down at the far end of this corridor, you can see the metal bars of the door leading into the great hall. And washing down through the corridor is the sound of conversations, clinking glass, cutlery, laughter, cries, sounds of weird animals, music, just people in general.
Alright. I think we're back at the court. I don't know if you came from here. Oh, you did, right?
That music. It's such a long time. Is that wine I can smell?
Well, let's find out. Before we do, though, when I know you don't remember much, but when last you were here, did you make any enemies?
I got caught being where I wasn't supposed to be, but I wouldn't say enemies.
Well, you look quite different now.
And if I have enemies, they're probably long gone.
True. And just to be safe, just let the hair just obscure some of your face.
Yeah. You don't happen to have any clothes in my size, do you?
Not really.
All right. Well, there were real weird things in there as far as I remember, so probably won't stick out too much.
No.
Let's hope.
Well,
I'll stay close to you.
Right. Just to be safe, because I'm not quite sure if people are looking for me here or what actually happened. I'm going to use my Mask of Many Faces to just transform into just sort of a edgy, kind of strange looking elf.
All right. How strange?
Like maybe an elf with some like arcane markings around his face. Just because I know people can look weird.
Just get the general idea, and then you look into the reflection on the glass sun you're holding. You can just see that your hair is also it's standing up, and it's platinum white with blue tips.
All right. We look like quite the pair now.
Yes, your hair kind of looks like my hair if it only stood up a bit.
Right.
It's really good. I can't see through that illusion.
Thank you.
I presume it's an illusion.
It is.
Or was the other thing an illusion?
No. This is an illusion.
All right.
So if you can't see through this, then that just means I'm a better illusionist than the Queen of Air and Darkness. Well, let's not.
I think that's a stretch.
No, let's just say that.
Stretch.
Let's just say that.
All right.
I'm just gonna. I don't know how this. Let's say my illusion still has my bag.
Okay.
Just because I don't know how checking my bag would look. I'm just gonna check my bag to see if the souls are indeed still there.
They are.
All right. How many did I collect? I don't think we said specifically.
You got 5.
5. All right, that's not
You
bad.
can see one of the, so they're like these glass with cork stoppers, and some of them has like a cloth wrapped around the top, kind of like jam glasses or jars, and they just look like they're filled with dense smoke. And then one of them, you could see like a smoky hand just scratch against the glass and disappear back into the smoke.
Huh. All right. Well, you ready to go?
I've been ready for decades.
You know, I think they have drinks out there. So
You know what would be really, really funny?
What?
If I came out there and my friends were sitting out there and I had only been gone for a few days. But I don't think that's the case.
Doubtful. That's doubtful. Well, let's see. You never know with the time and this place, as you said.
Yeah. One can hope.
Yes. I'm going to go and just open the door and just sort of let him through. Let him go first.
You can see the guards standing next to you just glance over at you. Just one of them lifts an eyebrow. I mean, this is edgy. But it's really over the top. So you can see it's more than he's used to. So, but he seems quite distracted by the hair. Yeah, just nice hair, sir. He just assumes you are above him in the hierarchy because of the hair.
Great. Thank you.
So in front of you, there are these rows upon rows of trestle tables with all kinds of creatures: elves, humans, gnomes, dwarves, hags, kobolds, weird, crazy-looking elves with red hats and mean blades lying right next to them. You can see trolls. You can see gigantic creatures. Well, they look like giants, but they are super ugly, like bulbous growths on their faces. In the distance, looks like the same race as the one you saw in the fortress on your way in. Yeah, and then the throne area at the top. You can't see anyone in the throne at the moment, but there's still guards surrounding it. And everyone's partying and drinking and talking. It seems like this continuously ongoing feast hasn't stopped since you left.
Is it like a situation where there are like servers going around with the drinks and stuff, or is it just...
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna go to one of those and grab a drink. Grab 2 drinks.
You like presents the plate or the tray to you. There's some that looks normal. Looks like some kind of champagne. Some of them looks like wine. There's this dark wine that you've seen before that looks so dark red that it's almost black. And then there's like a fizzy green drink and a bubbly blue one.
I'm gonna take one of the dark wine and one of what looks like champagne.
All right.
And then I'm gonna go back to the gnome. Just take your pick.
Oh. If you don't mind me, I'm gonna go for the wine.
Right.
It's such a long time.
Well,
grabs it and it's like a huge goblet to him.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good job.
And he drinks.
Jesus.
This is good stuff.
So, I assume you'll want to go back to the material plane.
Yes. I mean, it sounds like it sucks a bit now, but it's just like you have to do some spring cleaning once in a while. Just
exactly. Perhaps you can find a nice place in Daggerford.
Yeah, probably. I like Daggerford, and if you say it's safe, then I can do that. I could see myself living there. Certainly better than living in a weird illusion prison.
Right. You can join my group if you'd like. Traveling alone can be sort of dangerous
to go alone, some say.
It is. That's why I gave you that glass and said, take this now.
Well, I would love to travel with you. I don't think it can be of much use, unless, of course, you run into another illusionist. But I think you're getting the hang of it. As I said, I'm no fighter. I never studied spells. I never studied the arts of music. maybe I was a bit too lazy in my early years, but I thought of like I just went about my business, saw the world, traveled here and there. Maybe I can help you with some finances or something. I would dare say was quite a competent trader when I was active.
Right.
Of course, the markets have probably changed quite a bit, especially with dragons taking over everything. It's an interesting situation, but I'm sure you can turn a profit.
Well, let's say
one thing about a crisis, you can always turn a profit.
In any case, when you get to Daggerford, I'm sure the city will be happy to have a trader like you, if you want to get back in the trade, of course.
I would love to. I mean, it's what I do, or did.
And then when we pass through, perhaps you can, help us out a bit with the prices.
Sure. If you have money and you are willing to invest, you could probably turn that money into something more if you are willing to take the risk. I must say I have spent decades pondering the mysteries of trade, of prices, of supply and demand, that kind of stuff. I am itching to get back.
What kind of trading do you do? Just general?
I started out as a wine merchant, and then I sort of discovered that when you're doing that, there's sort of like side businesses that you could also go into. Barrel making, for example. If you could produce that stuff yourself. So at one point I owned a few vineyards as well, but mostly it was trading. I found out that candles are really sought after in different places. And the smallest things you take for granted, you never realize who are actually carrying these around. They're not made in the city that you're sitting in. Someone are putting that on a wagon somewhere, carting it around. And everywhere, at every corner, you can turn a profit.
Sure. So say we invested in your ideas. Would you get something going that perhaps could help adventurers? Something useful to them. Wine is nice, but
well, I suppose weapons, armor, potions would be more useful in a crisis. Well, I suppose that the market that we would be entering with your capital and my know-how would be not much unlike the market you would find in a war zone. So yeah, we could get some business going. I have to, of course, scout out the supply lines and that kind of stuff, but yeah.
Of course, you need time to adjust, figure everything out.
Well, but yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you would be a fool if you didn't turn a profit in a situation like that. Of course, it might sound very callous to talk about profits in a situation like this, but you have to remember that people need this stuff. And if you don't provide it, then people are even more screwed.
That is true. Well, I say we bring it up with the rest of my group, I guess you can say, when we get there.
Yes.
I don't know exactly where they are at this point, but I'm sure we'll find them.
Well, what are they when you left them?
They ran... I'm just gonna talk, just whisper.
Like,
Yeah. We were in the direction of the Blazing Knights quarters, if you know who that is.
No idea.
Alright, he seemed like kind of a big shot here. Anyway, we split off, and I don't really know where I ended up. Well, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll find them. They seem resourceful. I haven't known them for long, but
Right. Is there a place where you did you arrange a meeting place or something like that?
Not really. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I mean, there was an inn, but I don't know if that's a place to go. We could see if they'll. But before we do that, I do have maybe some business to attend to here.
Very well.
But it's not going to take long. I mean, I'm sure you can find some fun things to do. Mingle, have a drink, have some food.
If it's the secret kind of business, then I am sure I can keep myself very well occupied. And he looks at the table, at all the like delicious foods and snacks. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy this. Take your time.
Good. I'm just going to pat him on the back.
Grabs some bread and stuff and just starts to pile it onto his plate.
I am going to go look for the hag that I was talking to before this happened.
So you look around, make a perception check as you search the place you kind of left her.
Oh, 17.
17. You stand where you were. She's not in that place anymore. But when you look around, you see someone who looks like her. And as you do, she kind of like looks up, turns her head towards you, and you get a sense that there's like eye contact.
I'm gonna start heading towards. This was the bag with the like wasps or bees under, right?
Indeed.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna head towards her. Or
you can see she turns back to the one she was talking to, just finishes some business, and then like walks out to meet you in the between the tables.
You noticed me despite looking different. That's
Oh shit. well. Oh yeah.
It's a very good disguise.
But these eyes are plenty. And she just pokes the sack and you hear the from inside.
I believe we have had some business.
I didn't really expect you to come back, I must say. I heard there was some terrible business going on in the corridors. Rumors is already spreading. The Blazing Knight is dead.
Oh, really? And I know nothing of it.
Really? Make a deception check.
Deception. 23.
All right. But someone did. I wondered, but I suppose you can't be responsible for everything around here. You seem to have lost your friend and gained a new one.
Yeah,
Who's the gnome?
You meet all kinds of people. He's just, worker.
All right.
It had been a while since he had some good food and drink, so I figured I'd treat him.
I can see that. Anyway, as you said, we have business.
Right. I'm curious. Say you got some souls. What would you do with them?
Well, it depends on the quality of the souls. But, well, now that the Blazing Knight is dead, I can't sell them to him anymore. So I would ask around, send out feelers to see who is in the market. And, probably see if I could gain some favors here and there.
So you...
As I understand, there's things on the way around here. Great spoils. Maybe on the horizon.
Interesting.
It's always good to grease the right palms, if you know what I mean. Even if that grease is a soul.
Yes. So, you said that in exchange for a soul, that you would tell me about this technique where you could keep your soul in an object, for example. I believe.
I suppose I did. I suppose you come about currency then.
I'm gonna reach into my bag and just pull one of the souls.
She leans over this bag with no real eyes or anything, just leaning close, and you hear the buzzing intensifying. That's a fine quality soul you got there.
So this would be worth some information then.
Definitely. But you have more, I see.
Well, this was the deal for now. I figured it's best to have some, some extra currency for.
Definitely.
Some extra information,
you never
perhaps.
know when you run into a hack.
True, but also I figured you perhaps would like more than one soul, but I'll need more than this basic information then.
Very well. You want to learn how to transfer soul into a vessel?
Yes, that would be a good first step.
It depends on what level of difficulty you want to do it.
What does that mean exactly?
It means that there are a lot of skills required, different skills required. Acquiring them, all of them, would be the same as like a wine farmer learning how to make barrels, learning how to cut the wood, learning how to mine the ore, making the metal bands to hold the kegs together. Then, of course, his trade would come into producing the wine itself. But then he would also know how to sell the wine and how to serve the wine. Of course, no one person knows all of that.
True.
But for the soul, I can tell you how you could go about it. What kind of people you would need to get into contact with.
That would be very helpful.
She reaches out a hand, crooked hand.
I just put the soul.
Thank you. She puts it in a robe. Well, should we sit? She waves a hand at one of the waiters who comes over with another drink. Really, the vessel itself is not very important, but it is transferring the soul that's the tricky part. Because as soon as you break the vessel, the soul will escape faster than you can possibly catch it. So you need spell funnels, also known as soul funnels, but they have various uses.
All right.
It is finely crafted apparatus in which you insert, for example, one container, and then you can transfer it into another container. Are you sure you don't have anything to do with the Blazing Knight? You don't seem surprised by the concept of a spell funnel.
Well, there's all kinds of crazy things here.
That is true.
You gotta keep your mind open.
Oh, yes. So a spell funnel is, of course, not something you can just go down in your village store and buy.
Oh.
But if you can find wizards, they might be able to help you.
Alright.
If you find a powerful enough wizard, they might even know how to make one. But they will most certainly know someone who can. But of course, as far as I know, the material plane has gotten a bit fragmented, so it might be a bit more difficult to get your hand on equipment like that.
True.
Once you have transferred the soul, if you want to imbue it into an object, say for example an artifact, you can use the spell funnel again. Usually it will be a specialized one that allows, for example, liquid metal to pass through just as the soul is squeezed in, kind of like woven to the molten metal. And then the spells of the funnel will trap the soul into the metal. And when this weapon is forged, the soul will be trapped, granting its powers. I imagine that was what the Blazing Knight was intending to do with all the souls that he had collected. It was a lot of souls. It would be quite a powerful artifact.
Sounds like it.
But unfortunately, he was not able to finish that work. It's a shame. It's not every time that new artifacts are produced. Certainly not since the material plane went down the drain.
Well, who knows? There might still be someone there who can do that kind of stuff.
Maybe. I suppose you also want to know how to extract a soul from a living being.
Why not?
Well, that's the trick. First of all, you of course need their consent, usually through some kind of contract. There are various kinds of contracts. It kind of depends on your style. We hags usually like to involve some blood in it, but there are other ways to do it. To sign away your soul. Usually you need some kind of power involved, some kind of god to oversee the transaction, or some kind of patron. You can't just write a document, have people sign it, and then they have signed over their soul. There need to be some kind of, maybe a fiend or a devil or a powerful fae to back up the contract.
Right. That makes sense.
And once you have done that, it is only a simple matter of collecting the soul. You can do it through various spells. You'd have to ask probably a wizard to give you the exact one. Or you can learn it from the hags that harvest the souls themselves. There are many spells that can do this, but they will all of them fail unless they are very powerful. Or unless the person have signed over their soul through a power-backed contract.
Mm.
Kind of like the contract will open the door, make it easier. But there are ways to circumvent that. I don't suppose you've heard about the death curse. It happened a long time ago.
I don't know.
Some powerful lich managed to create an artifact that drew the souls of everyone who died or had been dead. Very powerful magic. You can imagine how that affected the market.
Yes.
There were a lot of people that were pissed. But it got resolved.
Does the artifact still exist?
To my knowledge, it was destroyed by a group of adventurers.
Oh. You wouldn't happen to be one of these hacks that do the extracting yourself?
Unfortunately not. I am just a middle person.
That's fair.
I transport commodities. But you were traveling with an elf. I got the sense, or the impression, that he had been in contact with one of the hacks that do practice this kind of work.
From what I've heard,
he,
yeah, it seems so.
Indeed, had himself experienced such a contract firsthand.
Yeah. So that might be a good place to start.
You could ask her.
Hmm.
For soul, I'm sure she might be willing to tell you.
True. Well, thank you for the information.
Thank you for the soul.
I'm wondering, I'm sure you know a lot about souls and deities and all that. And while you can get information on the material plane, I figure you might be closer to the truth. You know, I'm willing to trade some more for a bit of extra information.
What kind of information do you want?
We discussed what would happen to a soul if a god or a patron had laid claim to it, it would go to their realm.
Yes, we did. Yes.
What about people who has not made such a, normal people?
Normal
What
people.
happens? What happens to them and their souls?
Most people do adhere to one god, send their prayers to them. But if we were to imagine a person that had never ever prayed to any god, there's also always the possibility of the 9 hells. Trust me, there are always people after souls and unclaimed souls.
But
they don't last long.
Is praying to a god enough for your soul to go to their realm?
If nothing else happens, it is usually enough. You kind of raise your hand, indicate your allegiance, and when the time comes, that god already knows to look for you, and its agents will guide you in. But of course, if you have made other arrangements, other pledges, someone with a greater claim might take it.
That makes sense. And then I was curious, and while I'm talking, I'm gonna grab one of the other souls from the back. Is there a way for someone to ensure that their soul goes to a specific place?
There are ways. Suppose the person you're talking about is unsure of who has the greatest claim on said soul.
Yes, and the person might have a specific goal in mind. Maybe he doesn't want to just escape the clutches.
Yes. One way is to visit the place yourself. As you may know, if one knows the right ways, it is possible to travel to the outer planes.
Yes.
Where the gods might be found. If you were to travel to the place you wish to end up, arrangements can be made.
Interesting.
Of course, it is no simple task. Very few people know the ways of planar travel, and fewer people know about it these days. Again, because of all the troubles the dragons have kicked up.
Right. There's a chance that someone might know.
You could possibly find someone of great knowledge about magic. Great wizards, for example.
Right.
Or just people in the know. You can send out feelers, but of course, on the material plane, that is quite risky these days because of the dragon cult.
Yeah.
As far as I understand, they are pretty interested in planar travel themselves.
The dragon cult?
Yes.
Yes, I would imagine so.
I might know something. But I feel like I am talking a lot and not really gaining anything from it.
Well, first of all, I give that soul that I had to her. And I grab one more.
Do you give it to her?
Well, I'm sure this could make the talking seamless. And yeah, I give it to her.
According to my sisters, well, you could call them that, but they are real, not very pleasant. But we do talk when we are all in this place.
My sister's from the high forest. There's a lot of stuff going on. Usually the elves are pretty fragmented in that place. There's been a person who calls herself the Red Lady for a long time, trying to unite the tribes, but without much success. But recently, she has more success because a threat has arisen. In an old fortress, the dragon cultists apparently are massing a force. And there can only be one place they are going to point that force. The old grandfather tree. Maybe the largest entrance to the Feywild on the Sword Coast. Possibly large enough to put through an army.
So they seek to invade the Feywilds like they did the Material Plane.
Oh, I have heard things around this court. Things concerning that.
It doesn't worry you?
I'm not worried. Others might be. She looks around. Words has it that the queen has allied herself with the five-headed dragon.
Oh.
A favor for a favor. The dragons help her topple the Sealy court. And then she helps her with the next step in her plan.
Do you know what the next step is?
I'm afraid I do not. I wish I did, because I believe that information would be worth more than just another soul. But, of course, the cult is very secretive about it. I don't even think that the Queen of Air and Darkness herself might know. Which I assume is why she made the Blazing Knight produce the artifact that is now no longer going to be made. The Dragon Bane.
God, there's so many notes to write down.
Why are you so concerned about the Dragon Cult?
Well, while it's not my main concern, they have they are ruling over the plane of my existence with an iron fist.
That is true, but there's no reason why you could not stay here. You've already done very well.
Yeah, well,
You seem like the type who could fit in. You see people coming here and you know they're not going to last for long. And you see other people coming here and you think they're going to fit nicely with the rest of us. Unless, of course, you would have reason to leave in a hurry.
well, who knows? Maybe I'll be back, but
Hmm.
perhaps I have some ties, some places I want to visit.
Indeed, indeed.
I can be nostalgic like that. You know how it is.
I don't know nostalgia.
No?
Never understood it.
Mm.
I guess it's difficult to explain.
Yes. Well, I mean, some way you're lucky. You're free of that. You can just continue.
But
Without looking back.
sometimes we are lucky. Over her shoulder, as you're talking, you notice something and you look over, and you see Dinok, Bethrogar, and Gerbalush, and a bluish elf with bluish white hair and blue fur robes
just walking down one of the between the tables, and Grbalush is pushing a silver wheelbarrow just filled with sacks of coins,
Jesus.
just casually making their way through the court.
All right. Well, thank you for your business.
Thank you for this, owls.
Of course.
I think I'm gonna go and buy myself something pretty.
Yes. Perhaps we'll see each other again at some point.
Maybe.
Until then. And I'm gonna turn around and head towards the group.
All right.
Who I'm a bit confused about what they're doing.
As you walk over, you can see they notice you approaching, but they don't they watch you a bit warily, but nothing, no recognition on their faces.
Right. I'm just
And
gonna...
you can see Grbalush looks a bit protective about his stash of coins as you approach.
Hey. It's me.
What?
It's
Who?
me.
Who? Who are you?
Balthasar. You know I can do this.
I understand. You can see he's just about to say something, but then... I understand.
What are you doing?
We're leaving. That was this weird... you wouldn't believe what we've been through. We found the place... I mean... we should talk somewhere else.
Right. So are you just leaving the court now?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I have another companion for the party.
Who? He looks around.
I'll go fetch him.
All right, we'll just wait right outside.
Right, I'll meet you.
I get the feeling that we had to get out. I mean, yeah, do that. I'll keep my mouth shut.
All right, great. Good luck. I'm gonna just pat him on the back and send him on the way, and go and see if my gnomish friend still. Oh, I haven't given him a name yet, neither.
He's sitting. He looks a bit tipsy, and he has stuffed his face, and you think you can see slightly more color in his cheeks now, and he looks a bit less sallow, and he looks up at you. Did you finish your business? Was it successful?
Indeed, very successful.
Good to hear. Good to hear it. These, and it takes. It looks like a glazed bird or something. It just crunches it. Makes your eyes water.
You see the people leaving over there?
Yes.
Right, that's the group. So I think we better join them.
He looks at Grbalush. You guys are rich.
That is news to me as well. Perhaps good for an investment. Who knows?
That wheelbarrow over there? Let me handle it. And in a year, you will have 10 more.
Well, we'll discuss it when we get there.
All
what
right.
it can be used for. But yeah, fill your pockets if you want more food.
Well, I don't have any pockets.
Right. We should get you some clothes.
He just grabs a lot of the food and just holds it in his arms.
You know, you see these, you see the clothing I had when I was in my normal form.
Yes.
They were bought in a store right outside of here. We'll get you some.
All right. All right, let's go.
Right. I'm just gonna put some food in my bag as well.
All right.
Just to have some extra food. And yeah, start heading out.
All right. And we are at 9 o'clock or a bit over. So you walk outside and rejoin your party just outside the gates. With the gnome just looking at them. Grbalush looking down at the gnome. And yeah, that's why we're gonna end.
That'll be a great place to pick up.
Yeah.
They'll be just as confused as what I have been doing than I am of what they have been doing.
Oh, yeah. And Grablusht almost giving you away 3 times in
Yeah.
one conversation.
And I forgot that they also had a new companion.
Yeah.
So now the party is getting larger.
Oh shit! It's like the other group, Jurgen's Merry Army, just picking up
Everyone.
companions all over the place. Yeah.
Well,
so we'll see
Yeah.
the reunion next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central European Time, where we always stream every week, every Thursday.
We've
for
never
2
missed
hours.
one.
It's yeah.
It happens.
We mostly keep to the schedule.
Yes.
Every time people are not in Italy and weird places.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you next time for some more D&D and mysteries abound.
Indeed.
Take care.
Bye-bye.